like the Legion draft, but that's not to say that I don't like the Hellborn draft either. It just feels Hellborn's draft feels a little bit. I don't know. It feels a little bit slower.
And I like both of these drafts. And you know what else I like? Like the fact that this tournament is brought to you by Community Gaming. If you didn't know, they run weekly tournaments for Valorant, Super Smash Bros., Hearthstone, and more. Community Gaming is an all-in-one platform that helps supercharge events of all levels, from grassroots community events like this one to the Tier 1 professional events, which we got a little bit of both in this tournament. So experience that for yourself at communitygaming.io, or you could always join their Discord server to learn more, which I have. Also partly sponsored by Polydoge, the digital currency with one of the most vibrant communities on the powerful Polygon network. Offers a wide variety of fun interactions to its holders in the form of NFTs, apps, airdrops, and access to all of the different DeFi platforms ready to use on Polygon. You can experience that for yourself at polydoge.com. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, game 1 of this series underway. Daunova Brigada translated it for you. It's the Down Brigade. Maybe that's easier for you to say. Versus Probusk, no GG.
So, going into the match, we can see that we have Panda and Riftwalker dual lane mid versus Glacius and Monkey King. This feels like... do you have any expectations or predictions about who gets the better of this matchup? This is going to be the main thing that we need to be focusing on. This is where the action's going to be.
Yeah, well, I mean, both of them heavy hitters. Got that's power initiators, and then the side, the sidekicks, Glacius and Riftwalker, both equally easily punished. I think it's going to come down to execution, and if they can misstep, maybe mana batteries, every little bit of difference. Whoever can keep their HP highest is likely going to win the engagement when it all hits the fan, I think.
I think I give a slight advantage to Glacius and Monkey King, just because Glacius has the disable of Ice Imprisonment. He can kind of thwart a little bit of what Pandemonium's going to try to do. And then Monkey King, just with the slippery nature of, his kit with the elusive dash and the Heavenly Vault, he can potentially get out of some tight situations like a Flick Cannonball from Pandemonium, but that's just my read on the thing, on the matchup. But obviously you're right when it comes down, it's all about execution. Anything can kind of happen. There's always the potential for outplay, so we'll just have to wait and see. But, we've got these 2v1 lanes in the side lanes, right? We've got these, kind of strength initiators versus the support and strength carry or strength initiator, respectively. So it's going to be rough for both Rally and Drunken Master. They've both been taking a lot of heavy harassment, but Drunken Master is actually... Yes, there is a dive on Rally in the top lane. Sorry, I missed that, but...
No worries.
But Drunken Master is actually playing pretty aggressively, but Rally needs to watch out here. There's a port in the top lane.
Lava Surge into the keg. Good damage, but yes, this port will ensure that they have to retreat. Magmus could get punished for this. I don't know what kind of lockdown. They do have another compel. Magmus gets punished. Before that happened, though, Bloodlust kill. Monkey King takes out the Pandemonium of all targets.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe it did come to fruition how I kind of anticipated, where Monkey King and Glacius did have the slight upper hand in the middle lane, and Pandemonium is the first to fall out of these two pairs. So we'll see if they can keep that momentum going as the laning phase gets a little bit further on.
Interesting. If they didn't do that outrageous dive top.
Well, I mean, it was a bit of an outrageous dive, and they got punished for it. Magmus ends up falling. But he actually has I believe he's holding Engineer's Bottle, and he has a double damage, so they actually might be able to make a play with this DD rune and bottle. But meanwhile, Pandemonium falls for the second time in mid lane. Definitely doing a bad job of keeping my eyes on this, as I said I need to, because this is where the action's happening.
It is. It's action packed in the top lane too, though, because you get, like you said, that double damage rune. Engineers got it ready. It's a tricky one though, because Rally, they could lead him with the one-man lava surge into the keg, but here comes the Chrysalis, and don't forget about the Compel. He doesn't have, he does have enough mana now. They get the stun on the Magnus and a quick turn in punishment. It was a really hard engagement to go and only stun one person. Can they punish him? They do. Looks to clean up here. He's sipping that bottle while he burns into Slaske. Nice double tap there. I don't know if they wanted all that farm on NG, but he'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, that's where the double damage came into play, right? Rally and Monarch actually did get the leading kill there on the Magnus, but it
baits he baited the rune out, let Riftwalker walk right up to it, and he sat there ready with the keg and the double damage and auto attacks. Magnus gonna try to close the gap. What you got? What can he do here? He's not even eating any trees. He's just buying as much time. He's gonna fall. Nice patience.
It was a good attempt by him to try and find a little cubby to hide in the trees, but eventually they did find him. They kind of cut off all exits. They had the ward there. Actually, no, that's a Hellborn ward, but yeah, good attempt, but eventually just gets killed. But yeah, that's a triple kill. You know, kind of unofficial hat trick for.
Oh my god, look at mid lane. It's insane. The flicks, the cannonballs, the vaults, and the dashes. These guys are just all over the place. And when Drunken Master gets in the mix, these team fights are gonna look weird as hell.
It is a very acrobatic pair in the mid lane, Pandemonium and Monkey King, so it's pretty fun to watch. But Riftwalker gets stunned out.
By the Compel and the Drunken Master, too. Yeah, Riftwalker running for his life here. Engineer got those red boots, though. He's fully kitted. I don't know, yeah. What you got? Not long for this world. Not the Riftwalker performance that we saw in the first two games, for sure. A very rough start for what you got.
Yeah, Salforus and Drunken Master both level 6. Drunken Master's in very hot pursuit on Salforus right now. He's got the support from Glacius. There's the Ice Imprisonment. Ooh, that 3-point strike. I don't know if you caught that, but that is so much damage. So it looks like they're going with... looks like Drunken Master is kind of the priority farm leading this match. And well, maybe not. I guess he was... He was kind of the solo short for a while, but Legion team is doing extremely well leading into this match, right? They've got 2 heroes, almost 400 GPM. Their solo short is 300, whereas on the flip side we've got Hellborn struggling to find somebody over 300.
Yeah, a nice distribution on it too. NG ult Magus looking for just to get in range and stun that Rally. Rally's keeping his distance, very wide gap. Oh, Rally's porting in mid as they dive deep here. Glacius is going to fall first. Monkey King will be able to do a lot of damage here, but he needs to choose a target. The Compel locking him down before he can get anything off.
Two very important kills for the Hellborn side right there. Getting Monkey King and Glacius, shutting down that dual lane. But it did take a lot of commitment, right? It required 4 players, and in the meantime, Engineer does take out the tier 1 tower top. So
bottom lane. Looks like he might get away with this one. Yep. I think they ideally would have loved to get a kill on Rally and mid, but they did not get that. Engineer's trying to bait something out here. Rally just knows something's up. Magnus and NG have not let go of each other's hands the entire game, and he's going to play it safe. What you got doing a nice job clearing up a double or triple stack small cam. That gives him a lot of experience, and he's on his way to level 6.
Yeah, Riftwalker is one of those supports that's, gosh, Pandemonium just getting swarmed by 4, manages to find a way out. Good job by him. But what I was going to say is, Riftwalker and both Engineer are 2 of these supports that function really, really well as kind of like the 4th priority farm, because they just they're eventually able to just kind of start flash farming or picking up stray jungle camps that nobody else finds the time to farm just with levels. They're just really strong nukers in that regard, AoE nukers. So they will be able to see, later in the game, we're definitely going to be seeing stuff like Sand Scepters, Storm Spirits, maybe even Sheep Sticks on Riftwalker if this game goes beyond the 40-minute mark, I would say, 30-40-minute mark.
Yes. All brilliant choices for that kit, and just in general with this game, with the amount of disruptive abilities, anything you can kind of break
Forest in
stuff
the bottom
down.
lane. Gonna fall to
Yeah.
Drunken Master, and it's Glacius that's putting some pressure on Monarch, but
Fortunately, not level 6. Doesn't really get to pour anything in. Magnus cannot support that. What is this position? Was this engineer position 1, or is he just rich from opportunities, capitalizing on him? He's leading the charge at 460 gold per minute. Veiled
he's
Rot's
just
active in the mid.
he's Magnus just gets deleted.
That's about the worst thing that could happen. A nice vault pushing him back into there, but what you got hitting that 6 and getting it off, it does clean things up a little bit, but it's not enough, as this Monkey King is kind of just having his way. I've never really felt he was in any danger. I feel like everybody's really afraid of him. That being said, leads in with the face smash, pouring in those hits into Monkey King. Is he gonna fall? One auto attack from the tower takes him down to 60 HP, but he's so fast.
He's gonna try and find a little place to port home in. He's gonna hide in these trees and probably port home, I imagine. Or no, he's actually taking a path all the way through the Hellborn jungle. But we'll probably port here, maybe? There he goes. So good escape from him. And you could actually see Glacius. Uh-oh, Drunken Master is on Panda. Or who's on who here? Yeah, it's Drunken Master going for Panda.
Running out into blind territory, but striding in quickly behind his Magnus. Yeah, that would have been a nice follow-up. He's got the eruption ready, so it's one of those skills you want to get off early. Again, use it as many times as you can. And now there's a few more targets for it. Do they want a 2 versus 3 here is the question. Rift walked their ulti up in 10 seconds. I know they'd like to wait for that. There we go. Panda decides to strike onto Drunken Master. Doesn't get the flurry off to deposition the Drunken Master, but it looks like they're still going to have enough lockdown. Or are they? No, a 2-man Lava Surge and the eruption coming in, but it gets interrupted. That would have been a nice way to turn, allowing Glacius and Drunken to get back in the fight, but nice last-second stun to interrupt that ulti. And it puts it on. It's not on. Is it on cooldown? Yeah, puts the eruption on cooldown too. That's a shame.
Yeah, he tried, but it was a really good stop. But they put a lot of investment trying to go for that Drunken Master, but he's just too slippery. Drunken Master and Monkey King, just both really good heroes against Pandemonium in the early stages of this game. So
NG's showing flexing with a smackdown there. He blows his whole kit on the support. At this point, they're so far ahead. If they keep this pressure up, they don't even really have to utilize every ability. Here comes the Lava Surge in again with the keg. Lockdown, Sandstorm dealing all kinds of damage. Rally does get away with that Compel and a battery. Very lucky there. Probably sub 20 HP.
Yeah, that was extremely close. Deep in the red. Just a sliver of HP on the bar. But yeah, I mean, I'm actually finally putting 2 and 2 together here, looking at who's actually on this engineer. And Puppet Soul, probably one of the premier engineer players on the scene right now. I just realized this. Just remembered that he had been stomping some of the previous tournaments with this hero. So maybe a slight overlook, allowing him to get his hands on this hero. But
blame they're going for a second attack on Rally. They force out some TPs.
But the reality is, when you talk about player hero combinations, is that you just can't eliminate comfort heroes from everybody that's in the lobby. So eventually you got to give somebody what they want.
Riftwalker blowing the ulti on Magnus. Can Rally close the gap? He's going to propel himself with a Riftwalker. He does. Punish the mag. Opting to just grab a Blood Chalice here. I don't know if mana has been an issue for him, but all around. This, I don't know if you caught the second game, but I'm seeing the similar pattern. Legion side narrowly escaping every engagement, pretty much scot-free. It was 12-9, but the engagements and the heroes that have died haven't really mattered as much.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes that's just the way it happens, right? And it's Han is just the nature of Han is just this game where we talk about a word that's thrown around a lot of times is snowball, right? Where it's just these little advantages, little victories, just Pandemonium gets the Chrysalis, is able to evade death. And look at these flicks. This is the second time I've seen that happen, where Drunken Master tries to stagger away, but ends up getting the flick from Pandemonium anyway. And he is going to end up falling in the mid lane.
Yep. If you ever seen like Panda goes to flick a target that's compelled, and he just like flies across the map, follows them no matter where they go, or a hooked target. That flick always wins out.
Yeah, I think the most entertaining one that I've seen, we're kind of missing the fight in the top lane, but a very important target for important hero for the Legion falls, the Engineer, and Riftwalker's taking heat from Magnus right now, but nice double stun. Surge. That was a beautiful lava surge, evading the cannonball and stunning him in the process. Wonderful stuff from Keck W on Magnus.
Yep. Flick is an ace. Lava Surge is the wild card.
Yeah, but what I was going to say is I think the most entertaining flick reaction or flick interaction that I have seen is the way that it can sometimes catch a Valkyrie leap. You know, just at the right moment, you see a flick going off on a Valkyrie that leaps away, and Panda is just flying after him and gets the flick off, and you're pretty much dead meat if you happen to be the Valkyrie in that situation. But Rally getting gone on by DM in the bottom lane.
I'm surprised we've had this many kills this early. I mean, 27 kills, 15 minutes, almost 2 kills per minute with all of these evasive displacement abilities. It is interesting. I'm kind of glad that we got this action-packed game.
Well, you know, it's actually pretty one-sided in that regard when you talk about movement abilities and evasiveness. You've got Drunken Master, Monkey King, and Magnus, right? A trio of heroes that have nice escapes or nice
gap closers.
Gap closers, exactly. Versus, you know, you've really only got Panda and Rally on the other team. And Pandas, as we saw, you know, just a moment ago, can get interrupted by Magnus's. So,
Engineer Magnus. They are staggering these stuns perfectly. It's not always easy, and there's pressure situations up at the top lane. Pandemonium and Monkey King going back and forth, exchanging the blows. The two Kung Fu masters of Newerth, but no match. This MK pulls out strong.
Yeah, and Riftwalker and Lord Salforus went on Drunken Master pretty hard in the mid lane. Got him really low, burned the Undying cooldown.
Eruption used here on Monarch. A TP might have to be canceled. Salforus says, I'm not afraid of this energy field. Get away from my tower. But the damage is done, and we look at not only the gold lead, but the map pressure here. Tier 2's nearing their demise, both at top and bottom for the Hellborn.
Yeah, so as we kind of exit the early game stages, double Lava Surge in the bottom lane.
And this is without Portal Key. And he's lining these up. It's going to get ugly.
Speaking of, you know, he's only about 700 gold away from it, so it's going to spell bad news for Hellborn, because none of them are very close to that item at all. Only Salforus could potentially get it, but I doubt that's the path that he's going to be going. But what I was going to say is, you know, as we're entering this mid-game stage, Legion just has this massive gold lead, 13k with that tier 2 tower kill. And my goodness, the damage from Monkey King on Rally.
They're going to need big AoE ultis here. They're going to need a huge Riftwalker come in. The Monkey King is going to be worth a pretty penny for them. Drunken Master quickly getting out of dodge. But just got. Even though they get that kill on the MK, you know, nobody wants to go near this Mag Engie. The pressure continues. This is why they're getting all this gold all the while, you know, from every point of the map.
Yeah, I mean, they're about to find their second tier 2 tower falling, so
might be punished for sticking around on that one.
I think it's a trade that Magnus is happy to take. I mean, he actually did finish his portal key.
Oh, he bought out, yeah.
So happy to sacrifice himself for that tier 2 tower. I mean, the space is just so open for the Legion side at this point. They have all but one of the outer towers, and the Hellborn have yet to take their first. So just such a huge gold advantage. I mean, and you can really see it in the items too, where you've got Engineer with Spell Shards and Sand Scepter coming out, and Monkey King with a completed Nullstone, a Headdress finished on Drunken Master, and there's just nothing that compares on the side of Hellborn at all. South Forest has the ability to buy something, maybe a Headdress. I'm not sure exactly what route he's going item-wise. He's got 2,300 gold, so really curious to see exactly what item he feels like is the one to help get his team back in the game. And it's going to be a light brand, he decided. So trying to potentially prioritize some farm, I suppose.
Setting up here. Legion team and Hellborn team gathering around this mid lane. They both have the same vision. In South Forest, he's top farm, top XP per minute, and top damage, but I really haven't felt like he's had the impact that any of the heroes on the Legion team have had. And
it's just kind of hard to, South Forest is such a great power nuker, wave clearer. He's just got a fantastic kit, but one of the things that he lacks is the ability to stay on top of somebody. Mind Trap just snipes out the Monarch there. Poor Monarch. But what I was saying is that, South Forest, as strong as he is, as nice as his kit synergizes and everything, he actually kind of struggles against this Legion team. The fact that he just can't seem to stay on any of the heroes for the long term because of how slippery they are in comparison. So he really has to combo with his teammates in order to get, especially with the differential between the two teams' farm. He's going to have to stay on a target for at least.
Here, Veiled Rot's activated on 2 of these heroes. Legion side luckily got these Engineer illusions. Melt the rally. There's a Riftwalker 3-man ulti, but it's into the energy field, and now this Glacius is just pouring down ice shards. So much going on, they can't really do anything to stop it. KEKW's blink gets broken by those Monarch, but he still gets off the double stun. Ooh, South Forest, here we go. Finally gets a chance, but it's too much damage. We saw just a few seconds of him on top of them, what it did, and is Hellborn really throwing in the towel here? They just want to wash this away.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the right decision. Pretty